When the national anthem began, Holstein took a knee.
Get that son of a bitch off the field right now.
Kennesaw State University takes on Georgia State. The buzz is about the 5 KSU cheerleaders who took a knee during the national anthem.
Stand proudly for the national anthem.
49ers quarterback refusing to stand for the national anthems before games. Fans protesting his jersey. They're burning it. You see some of that right there.
Maybe you shouldn't be in the country.
I am very, very proud to represent the U.S. in competition.
Out, he's fired. He's fired!
When Donald Trump attempted the national championship game, he knew what he was doing. The man who, on the record, thinks the injection of politics into sports is bad, tells black players to get off the field, calls for their unemployment, and even mandates they leave the country, loves showing his face, rather in places where he will be received favorably. Not here. No, not here either. Like Army-Navy, where cadets throwed up white power symbols behind ESPN reporters. Or in Tuscaloosa for Alabama LSU. So when Trump made an appearance at the national championship game, it was of little surprise. In Louisiana, between Clemson, located in South Carolina, and LSU. On the biggest stage of this college football season, with the president on the field, dissent took place. Honoring the 2019 Teachers of the Year, honoring Kelly Holstein chose to kneel during the anthem at the championship game on Monday, where the ceremony took place, using her platform for what, if we all took part in, would make the world a better place. In her words, her kneeling was to stand up for marginalized and oppressed people. In her tweet, she displayed 2 simple pictures, one of her kneeling, captured from the stands, and the other of a Russian asset who welcomed foreign interference in his first campaign, openly admitted to welcoming it in his re-election campaign, the constructor of putting kids in cages, banning Muslims, turning friends like Germany, Canada, and France into enemies, befriending dictators because he loathes the thought of not being one, disregards the murder of a journalist, empowers white supremacy, spewing their talking points, with which he called very fine people, president. In her tweet, she wrote, like many before, I respectfully kneeled during the national anthem because no one is free until we are all free, citing Martin Luther King. With the hashtags I'm with Cat, Black Lives Matter, and LGBTQ. She told The Hill, I just decided that it felt like the right thing to do, to have a very respectful protest, citing MLK once more. Earlier in 2019, when Teachers of the Year winners were given an invitation to the White House to snap photos with Trump, Holstein of Minnesota and Jessica Duenas of Kentucky skipped the outing. Ironically, the most anti-teacher, anti-education person in a position of power, Betsy DeVos, the trust fund baby gifted a golden road to life with rose petals sprinkled before her every step, presented the National Teacher of the Year award. The words and practices and policies of this administration have been filled with a lot of hate toward the LGBTQ community, so I didn't feel comfortable in that environment, Holstein said. Back in April, The Hill wrote Holstein teaches at an alternative high school in Minnesota where she said her students include Somali refugees, students who identify as trans, and others who are impacted by the administration's rhetoric and policies. I thought long and hard about what I felt was right to do in my heart, she said. My students deserve to be stood up for. Trump, a model of bigotry, housing discrimination, racism, and stealing from his own charities to enrich his own pockets, received a loud ovation. Holstein clearly and rightfully sees the opposite. Not everybody is given the opportunity to have a voice, and I could take a small moment, a respectful moment of protest, and exercise my First Amendment rights and stand up for my students and for vulnerable adults and for people who are not treated in the way that they should be, she said. It feels like my responsibility to do that.